Welcome to the Bobby Kudo Show, where we dive into the fascinating world of human experiences and excellence. With special guests, real-life anecdotes, and thought-provoking discussions. Get ready to unlock and tap into your absolute potential with your host, manifestation coach, Bobby Kudo.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome episode 94 of the Bobby Kudo Show, Studio B, Mr. Andrew Raposo. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure,
I really
sir.
appreciate it. I want to tell you, super excited to talk to you today for a couple of reasons. First reason, lifelong resident, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, I think we're not the same age. We're probably close. You were like 80s and 90s?
91.
91. Okay, so you got to live in the 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy the 90s. But we're close in age. The city hasn't changed much. Agreed?
Oh,
Agreed.
absolutely.
Do you remember Florida Celebrates America?
As a kid. Yeah,
As a kid,
very
right?
early, very
right?
early.
Right. We'll talk about that later because I'd love to bring that back.
Sure.
But just an absolute pleasure to have you here. I don't
Thank
want to
you.
get off course, but I just want you to know that very important for me to mention this. I was, and then we'll get into nitty gritty, but I was just happened to be talking to some friends today, and I mentioned your name, and people said the nicest things about you. Like genuinely said, you know, what a great guy. Ant Bento from Ant's Late Night Pod, like he does a show.
Yes.
Fantastic kids. You know, him and Jody. Every time they need some advice, they reach out, and I really like those guys. And I think that they're doing something. They're young.
Yeah.
They're doing something creative, and I appreciate them. And so for him to say that, I just want you to know, like the youth thinks that way about you, and
That's awesome.
and I appreciate that. And I know that you're a school teacher, you're a principal, so much community service. Like you can actually see that you have given your life to the community, and that's, quite frankly, sir, that's what the show is about. It's about giving out more than you take, right? And most of us, and I say this often, those who do the most say the least. And I just want to say thank you for being here today.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
So things are happening, right? The city's in the buzz. So much going on with the mayoral candidacy.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you, along with 8 others, really defining the future of our city. It's been this way for a minute. And we know that, again, not that this isn't a political show, but the importance of mentioning this is that I think personalities have a lot to do with what happens, right? And so when I talk to people and they mention things about people and they speak to their character, to me, that's very important because come November, when I'm tallying my vote, that person that I am aware, the person that I know genuinely cares about this city and the future of the city, including its children, is going to get my vote.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying this as a citizen and nothing else because I love the city.
Absolutely.
And I can appreciate someone who's been here their whole life. And so just so we can get into it a little bit, I would just love to talk about how you came to this. So obviously you grew up in the city. How do you end up in education?
So I'll back up a little bit.
Sure.
So I was born and I was living on Harrison Street at the time. So
Okay.
I was born in the Flint.
Yeah.
My parents, I was about 6, I believe. We moved to the north end of the city, right off of New Boston Road. And I lived there all my adult life. I actually then bought a house 3 blocks from my parents, not too far away off of New Boston Road.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm a lifelong resident, was educated in the public schools here in the city, went to Watson, went to Talbot, went to Durfee, and graduated in 2009. UMass Dartmouth for a major in MIS, computers essentially,
Okay.
and a minor in political science.
All right.
So that's where that comes later.
Okay.
Politics is not what defines me.
Okay.
What defines me is who I am and what I do. I am a principal, Spiro Santo School in Fall River. I've been there now 12 years. Started as a teacher for 3, and then became principal. I've been principal ever since.
What were you teaching?
I was teaching technology, religion, and social studies.
Oh, great.
So,
Great.
and it's funny because when I went to college, I didn't think I would be in teaching. And I graduated from UMass Dartmouth. I'm like, okay, now I could go work in a cubicle somewhere and do some IT work. And an opportunity presented itself to teach at the church that I've been parishioner of Spiro Santo for years.
Sure.
So the opportunity presented itself, and here I was in August of that year teaching. As time evolved, I got more involved with it. I really loved teaching. I really loved what I was doing, and it was the interaction with the kids.
Yeah. ES is a great place too.
It is.
You know what I mean?
It's
Like I know I have friends that graduated from there, alumni, and they say the greatest things about that school and their experience.
Thank you.
Yes.
So yeah, it built, and then 3 years after I started teaching, an opportunity presented itself to apply for the principal's job. The person had left, and it was like, well, let's see what I'm going to do with this.
Yeah.
And I was in the process of going for my master's degree anyway, so it actually worked out. And I applied, and they gave me the opportunity. There's one thing I firmly believe in is the opportunity I got at the school from teaching was given a chance. Giving somebody who has passion, who wants to do it, may not know everything, but is willing to learn. That is how I began teaching. The same thing happened when I became principal. Was like, you're a young guy, you have a lot of good ideas, you have a good amount of energy. We're going to give you a shot and see what you can do. And you know what? I felt blessed that I was given that opportunity.
Yeah, truly.
Look back.
And how old were you when that happened?
So when I became principal, I was 26.
See, so people are typically listen. Not only that, you're in a Catholic they're typically very reserved on age, right? You gotta season a little bit. But clearly, sir, I see that you are a mature individual, right? So you go through this process. Tell us a little bit more about that, because it's not just being a principal. It's a principal, and you have religion. So there's a lot going on there.
Yeah. So it's funny. I probably heard so many people say to me, "Wow, you became a principal at 26? Oh my God!" Like,
good for you.
And thank you. But I say, yeah. I mean, it was the path that I was given, and the path I took. Yeah. So they gave me a chance, and I built. It was a lot of work, and one of the things I firmly believe in is the people around you. I was able to build a good team around me.
This is a great leader.
Yeah, because listen, I can be the best principal, jumping off the walls and be great, but if I don't have a good team around me, I'm nothing. So that's one thing I'm proud to say. As time has gone by, I've had good days and bad days.
Of course.
But I have a great team around me. I have a great community around me. The parents are supportive. The kids are supportive. It's a blessing, and that has defined me for the past 12 years of my life. Outside of that, I've been involved with youth sports for a long time. I was a baseball player as a kid, but I stopped playing baseball around 15 because typical, Portuguese family, you want to go to college, you got to pay for it.
Of course.
My parents are great. I love them. Yeah, that's exactly.
Yes.
I love them dearly, but they taught me a very quick life lesson.
Yes.
If you want something,
clearly they did it right.
Thank you. So I went to work. I was 15 and a half. I was cleaning toilets at the Dunkin' Donuts on Pleasant Street. And I worked there for a little while. Then I moved on to the one in Assonet. Then I ended up getting a job at Staples because technology background.
Sure,
I worked in the IT department. Yeah. And then eventually, I grew up a little bit more. I got the job at the school. Yeah. And then my priorities were clearly getting in line of where I was going with my life. So I umpired baseball for a long time because I couldn't play anymore, so I umpired. Yeah. I was doing the local little leagues, Dumont Field before it was a softball league, was there a lot. Lafayette Park, Mr. McDonald, God rest his soul, wonderful human being. Yeah. I played at his league. I umpired later on. Federal Little League down at the Kennedy. Yeah. Did some high school baseball. So I was always involved in that. Well, I get to the school, and they need a basketball coach. I don't know anything about basketball. Yeah. Never played basketball in my life. I said, sure. And I've been coaching basketball ever since.
No kidding.
I've had great years. We coached the CYO, which is now at the old Bishop Conley High School. Yeah. And I love it. I mean, that's awesome. My wife will tell you, I probably spend hours. I'll leave school at 4:00. There's games from 5 to 9. I'm there because I have 7 teams of kids. Right. And I'm there. And wow. I practically live there.
Wow.
But I love it.
How long have you been doing this?
So I coached basketball. It was my first year as principal.
Oh, okay.
I took over the program, and I just built it.
So how many kids?
Last year I had 7 teams.
Yeah.
4 girls, 3 boys teams, ranging from 2nd grade to 8th grade.
Think about the impact.
Oh, it's huge.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And they don't get sick of me, shockingly enough.
You multiply that.
I get sick of myself.
That. No, they see someone who's giving up their time and shows that they care. That's huge. That's how you build a strong community.
Correct.
Right? With strong children.
And the best thing is that, the classroom is one thing. The relationships you build.
I love these conversations, man. I get so excited, man. I love to hear that there are people like you doing things like this.
Correct.
Man. I apologize if I get excited.
No, it's all good. So the relationships I built with them outside of the classroom on the basketball court just then translate into the classroom. Teaching leadership skills. Listen, I have to tell you, the first year we played, we lost every bloody game. I don't think we won one. Maybe we won one forfeit.
You were building character.
Correct. And I would tell them, listen, you're going to get there. We're going to build. We're going to build. And then we had a great year. Yeah. We win, we lose, we draw. It doesn't really matter. The point is we're trying to build character. We're trying to build leadership, finding the leaders from within, and everyone has a part in the game.
Sure.
So probably one of my more favorite things to do. I love baseball, but basketball is a more, fast sport.
Sure.
Much more interesting to me.
Right.
Because I'm that kind of guy. I just keep going.
Yeah.
I don't know where I sit.
And I think it's more convenient. Baseball is very inconvenient. Just to be fair, schedule-wise,
Yeah,
right? Because it's always a Saturday, it's always a Sunday,
Well,
right?
you know what? The actual thing is, because I was umpiring high school baseball, and it was right after school. Most high school games are 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
I just could never get out of the building
Right
to get there.
Yeah.
And if I did, I was going back to go do more work.
Yeah.
So at some point I said, it's not fair to the high school kids playing. I'm not giving the best of myself. You know what?
Sure.
I'm going to stop doing high school baseball.
Smart.
I did local leagues on the weekends, 6 o'clock at night. Great.
Yeah.
But basketball really became a thing I enjoy. And again, because it's an extension of what I do at the school, it was like, I'm all in this. And we've continued. And it's been a fabulous experience.
Great.
Ever since.
So you go through that, and then you say to yourself, let me dabble with some politics here, right? I was in school. I did a little bit of this. Let's see. How does that happen?
So I've always been interested in politics. Obviously, minor in political science from UMass Dartmouth.
Sure.
So I studied that. And it's funny. I remember my professor at UMass Dartmouth say, he was the MIS chair. Yeah. He's like, I don't know anything about political science. Go talk to them. So I went halfway across the campus to the Liberal Arts Building. I went to go talk to the advisor. And I said, yeah, I want a political science minor. So I did all that. And more for like my own purpose. Like I wanted to learn more about it.
Was it just like the things were happening and you're like, I just want to know how this works? Was it more like current events?
Yeah, kind of. And I always had a fascination with government. Like I always was interested looking back. So it's funny. In high school, 2009, that was the year of 9 seat cuts in the city.
Okay.
So I'm 17, 18 years old. I am in the marching band at Durfee High School. And of course, the rumors with the 9 seat cuts was, okay, the music program's going to get cut.
Right.
So here I am, me and like half of my band friends showing up to a school committee meeting. And I remember Mayor Correa at the time, Bob Correa. I said, hey, listen, I made a speech, talking about how passionate this is and how important this is to all of us. Yeah. And I remember his words. I don't want to verbatim say it, but he was along like, listen, we're not cutting your program.
Oh, wow.
And we're like, yes. And we're all excited.
Win,
and we left.
Right?
It was a win, right?
Right.
And I remember senior year of high school getting an award from the school committee. I actually have it at home still on my wall. I laughed with Councilor Kadeem because he was on the school committee at that time. Yeah. I'm like, do you remember? And probably doesn't.
Yeah, right.
It's just funny now.
You never know, right? You never know.
And
you never know.
What's funny, now I'm serving with him.
Right.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I've always had an interest. Mm-hmm. And how I pulled papers for city council 6 years ago, I think was completely on a whim. I think one day I just said, I was talking about it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go do it. And I remember calling my wife and saying, hey, I just left City Hall. I picked up some papers. What?
She's like, that's a lie. You can't park anywhere. There's nowhere to park.
No, I parked it down the street somewhere.
Yeah.
I pulled papers and I was like, you know what? We'll give it a shot.
Good for you.
But it was, I knew what I was getting myself into. Because the reality is.
Did you?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Because I think firmly, when you get into politics, automatically, there's a subset of people don't like you. Just because
there it is right
you're
there.
a politician,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
But when people get to know me, they realize that I'm not that. I'm still Andrew. I'm still the guy who coaches basketball and all this other stuff,
right?
Which I'll explain a little more later. But so I pulled papers and I said, let's see what happens. You'll never know until you try. I firmly believe in that. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of hesitation at first because I'm like, well, what happens if I fail?
Yeah.
Right. But
again, this is 2020, just to give people right?
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah. So
okay.
that was around then.
Yeah.
And I pulled papers and I started getting signatures and I put it online. People were wicked receptive about it. Yeah. And Caitlin and I went around. We drove around the city, messaging Facebook. She
Behind
was
every great man. I say it every episode.
Well, listen, I'm not who I am because of her. She's great. She's my rock, my other side.
Absolutely.
And she's also the one who keeps me in check because she'll look at me and go, "You're being an idiot."
Yeah.
Thank you.
Perfect. Like I said, behind every great man.
Amen. So we were driving around the city. She's doing the Facebook messages for me. We're going to all these different addresses. I probably burned through 3 gallons of gas in a minute. Yeah. And I got my signatures. I got my papers submitted. Wow. Went to the first forum and do all that. And here comes election night. Now remember, that election there was no preliminary. So I had no idea what was going on. So I'm like, all right, here comes the general election. We'll see what happens. Yeah. And I placed 7th.
Oh wow.
In my first election.
Oh wow. And
I don't say that to brag by any means.
No, that's
wicked blessed.
Yeah.
And I remember it was Keith Tebow at FRC Media when he did the first interview with me. He's like, you kind of came out of nowhere. I'm like, I guess that's right. In some way. Like
right.
I did come out of nowhere. Like I think most people when they run for the first time, they may not necessarily win or they get a gauge where they're at. Right. I was blessed to be elected. And I think a lot of it has to do with, and I'm a firm believer of what you give, you receive back. I'm a good person. I gave to the community. I tried to do the best I could do. I'm by no means perfect.
Right.
And I don't want to make anybody think that I'm sitting here saying, oh my God, he's the best. I'm not. I'm a human being.
Absolutely.
I make mistakes. Yep. I try to be better every day. My mission is always to wake up the next day and say, what can I be better than yesterday?
Right.
Sometimes I do well, sometimes I don't.
Right.
But the reality is I always try to do that.
And we learn.
Correct.
Yes,
We always,
absolutely.
and as an educator, every day is a learning lesson, no matter what. So here I am. You know, I'm sitting in the crowd. I think I was the only new counselor that year.
So can you just tell us what that's like, right? So now it's your
So
first
weird.
day. It's your first day, right? You
Yeah.
show up. Like, what is that like?
It's
What
like
do
the
you
first day of school,
right? Like, where do you go? What do you do? What is it like?
So I remember sitting in council chambers after the election. So it was November. So there was a solid 2 or 3 meetings before the inauguration. So I'm counselor-elect.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get the emails from City Hall about the meetings, and I'm sitting in the crowd just listening.
So cool, right? So cool. You're like, wow, this is so cool.
No, not for no. At first, she was like, "We could turn it off by." She's like,
Really?
No.
Really?
Yeah,
That's so cool.
She's but she's grown over time with it. So I'm sitting there and I'm listening and taking it all in. It was a lot. It was a lot, and then to really get caught up to speed with where things were at. I mean, and I think too, you're a taxpayer. I'm a taxpayer. She's a taxpayer. We're all taxpayers. But I think when you get involved in nitty gritty in the weeds of how things operate, you begin to realize, okay, it's not as easy as people make it sound. It can be frustrating. Okay, especially being on the council, you're the legislative branch. You are 9 of you, so you have to find compromise and agree and disagree.
Right.
So I'm just sitting there taking it all in. You know, I'm blessed that when I finally got on the council, I give a lot of credit to former councilor Pam LeBeau, who was in charge at the time, and she said to me, "Hey, we're going to do committee assignments. What are your preferences?" And I said, "Well, I'm a school teacher. Like, kids,
Education.
the kids, education.
Yeah.
Like, what can I do?"
Yeah.
So I ended up becoming, at that time, the chair of the Youth and Elder Affairs Committee,
Okay.
subcommittee, and the liaison to the school committee, which I thought was perfect for me because I work with kids.
Sure.
So that was good, and I appreciated that, and just trying to get up to the fold of where we're at. But I'm going to tell you, 6 years into this, I'm still learning. You know, I'm still learning about how processes are, how things go by, you know, how contracts are negotiated, all this different stuff that is way more complicated than people think it is.
Right.
So yeah, 6 years into it, I'm still learning, and I'm blessed to be here still today and running for your election, and hopefully it works out.
So so you're there that first day.
Yeah.
You're mingling, right? You're starting to figure out personalities
Yep.
and who's who. And look, you don't have to. We don't have to get into the but it's. I would imagine that you've got the incumbents, right?
Yep.
And then you're kind of like, okay, well, where do I fit in this, right? And so right away you get these committees, and then you start to talk to people, right? Because you gotta connect, right? It's all about networking. Where do you network first? Where do you go first?
Whoever wants to talk to me, that's it. I mean, I'll talk to a paint can, for God's sakes, at that point. You know, I kind of introduce myself to everybody. Obviously, they know who I was because I'm the new guy in town, right? I'm like the new kid in class.
I'm just so interested in this because it's like, you know, 'cause you can never imagine being in that position until you're in it, right? Because we all think of like, hey, I'm going to be the mayor. And then all of a sudden you are. And then you're like, wait a minute. This is a lot.
Well, I kind of go back to when I became principal. Like, so I was a colleague amongst colleagues, and then the next day I'm their boss.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like, woo. And again, back to the school, my staff, who were my colleagues at the time, were wicked supportive of me.
Yep.
You know, I stepped in a time where I think the school needed some new leadership, and I moved it forward.
Sure.
And again, they were supportive, and they reciprocated that with me to make it happen.
Yeah.
So I kind of remember that day of sitting at my desk at 143 Everett Street and saying, okay, what's my first move?
Right.
Same thing at the council. I sat in the chamber. I got my little desk there and my name tag, and I'm like, okay, what do I do?
Right.
And one thing I did, and I always continue to do, I listen twice and speak once.
Smart.
Because you got to listen.
Smart.
Like, and the thing about me, and the kids know this too, like, I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear, like, both sides. The same thing with council. There's always 2 or 3 possible scenarios or 2 or 3 possible opinions on a situation.
Yep.
I'm going to listen, take it all in, and then make the best judgment that I believe is the best. Have I always done that? Great. No, I admittedly will say that.
Yep.
But I always try to listen more than talk. And I remember my first year, people like, oh, you're not saying anything.
Yeah, right.
But when I did,
Yeah.
people were like, oh, okay.
Right.
Like, okay, it makes sense.
Well, I think because I think you have etiquette. I think you possess an
Huge,
etiquette. I can tell you're
huge.
sitting there and you have etiquette. And I think, unfortunately, in watching some of these meetings, you're kind of like, the etiquette kind of goes out the window. But I understand. Look, I am Portuguese. I am Azorean Portuguese. I am very passionate, right? I may be yelling, but I'm not angry. And so I understand that there are a lot of people, let me say this fairly. The people that are there and participating in this are contributing to our community. They're giving up their time to support our community. So I don't want to say anything in a negative light.
No.
But what I would like to say is that it would be nice to be represented by etiquette, some etiquette. I'm not saying that we all got to be A, B, C, D, but I'm just saying that sometimes realizing, so I find it unacceptable when people don't communicate, right? So if you tell me you're mad at me, like if you and I are like, hey, we're counterparts, right? And you're mad at me, and our job is to communicate with each other, and obviously we're working for the community and the citizens, right? Mm-hmm. But you refuse to speak to me. I find that unacceptable. And I think that anyone that's in a position who can't get past that shouldn't be in that position, right? So you have to be a communicator. You have to be someone that's, like you said, I'm quiet until I'm not quiet, right? There's a moment where so in other words, when people speak all the time, people don't really listen. But the people that don't say much, when they speak, everybody listens, right? And so for me, when I look at this city council moving forward, I say to myself, well, I'd like to align myself with people like yourself, people that are balanced, people that are, realizing that if you have patience for children, you have patience for many things. You know what I mean? And right?
Right.
And so and just to kick back a little bit on your comments about, being with your counterparts, your teachers, and then becoming the principal, I went through something similar myself when I worked for Comcast, where I was with my fellow technicians, and then I was promoted to a supervisory role. And everybody was very supportive of me. And the reason they were supportive of me was because I deserved to be there. I was putting in the work. I was staying late. I was helping everyone. I was a leader. I was showing them. And I'm not tooting my own horn, but I'm just saying that it was okay with them because I was a leader. And people want strong leaders. And to your point, that's exactly what happened with you. These people supported you because they're like, oh, Andrew is a strong leader, and we're going to support him, I mean, it's you can see all of this come together. So tell me, so you're in the city. Mm-hmm. Just a little fun talk. Where do you eat? What are your favorite restaurants? You know what I mean? That's because everybody's got a favorite. I love to eat, man. I love to.
So let's see. It depends what we're talking about. If we're talking Portuguese food, my mom's house.
Good answer.
Good answer.
Good answer.
Thanks, Mom. But no, restaurant wise, Calderas is usually a good place to go.
Yes, I agree.
Not
espresso martinis over there. Yes,
we know.
Off the chain.
Portuguese steak for the win.
Yes.
TA as well right down here as well. Yeah. It's been a good place. Chinese food. Go to Mr. Chen's.
All right.
Yeah, we're loving Mr. Chen's these days, and it's usually the wife says, "Hey, you want to get Chinese today?" Sure.
Yeah. There's always a night for Chinese.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I like Chinese too.
But then the after that is at home. Home cooked dinner and with the wife and just. Do that. I mean, we're busy people. Like we spend so much time at school. Again, and I should say she also teaches as well. Okay. She's an educator herself, so we're a good team.
So it's a family affair.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a great. We make a great team. But we love what we do. And we're very invested in it. Yeah. So
that's half of it. Successful relationships are people that appreciate and join in their purpose. You know what I mean? Like I don't care what anybody says. When people share a purpose, it's so profound. You know what I mean? Especially when it's a man and a woman, it's such a beautiful connection. It really, really is. And not to say that not other connections are beautiful, but when I think of the nuclear family and I think of where we are today, the fact that people can get together and create something beautiful is just an amazing thing. And that's what I see here. Like you guys have amazing energy. This is awesome.
Thank you.
So can we talk a little business? Just a little business.
I love business.
All right, awesome. So Chris Peckham was sitting in that seat.
Okay.
And unbeknownst to me, like we were just talking, just kind of what we're talking here, and I said, the biggest eyesore in the city has to be that incinerator. Like every time I drive by that thing, I'm on the highway. It's just and he's like, Bobby, he goes, do you realize what's really going on there? And I said, what are you talking about? And he says, there's paint. They dump thousands of gallons of paint. And the only reason I'm asking is because I know that you're on the environmental committee. And I think it's only fair. And this is me asking. This is Bobby Kudo, the citizen, asking. One, and not to put you on the spot, but do we plan on doing something with that? Is there a plan to clean that up? Okay, how about this? Let me take a step back. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Do we even know if there's paint there? Do we know what's going on?
Correct. To my knowledge, I don't know the full facts.
Okay.
I know
All right.
Councilor Peckham, and I've talked to Chris a few times.
Yep.
Chris was on his way out when I was on my way in. We never got the opportunity to serve together.
Great guy. Great guy.
He is.
Yes.
And we've talked since then, and obviously he's rerunning for council now.
Yep.
So we've been talking more.
Sure.
I
Which I'd love to
personally,
hear.
absolutely, I would like to actually get more information about it.
Yeah.
Again, I don't draw.
Yeah, very sensitive.
Correct.
Yes.
Because
right,
again,
right.
my prerogative is this: if that's truly the case, we have a problem on our hands,
Right.
and that needs to be addressed.
Right.
If it's not the case, then so be it.
Yep.
That property, in and of itself, has been an eyesore for a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
It continues to be. The frustrating part for me, like with a lot of things in city government, it doesn't change overnight.
Right.
So, not to kind of go off the thing, but
Sure.
one of the things that I've from the beginning was like, what are the things I'm gonna have a purpose for? Like, what am I gonna try to do?
Mm-hmm.
Graffiti has been my thing. Drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And actually, I just took a picture outside this building.
I did a video the other day.
Yeah,
I
well-
actually I asked the audience. I'm like, guess where I am? I didn't show the street, and like 3 or 4 people got it right.
Yep. And so I already took a picture of that, by the way. But
Thank you.
one of the things is graffiti, and it's like, all right, listen, we got to clean this stuff up. So we went down the road with the ARPA money. There was some availability to get a new machine.
Yep.
I'm on the ordinance committee. We changed the ordinance to strengthen it, and finally, it came to fruition. So it was just a few weeks ago.
Yep.
They started doing some graffiti removal in the Flint. I was thrilled. Again, I live on New Boston Road, but I spend more of my time at the school in the Flint than I
Right.
do at my own house.
Right. So you're driving through the city. You're
Absolutely.
driving through the city, so you see it. You see it
Absolutely.
firsthand.
So
Yep.
it was just finally, and powers came to be, and again, it's a team effort from
Yep.
the city, DPW, the mayor's office, the city council. We finally got it done,
Yep.
and I was able to check out them removing graffiti off a building, off a parking lot, and again, small steps.
Yeah.
But I was finally able to say, we, keyword here, we
Yeah.
got it done, not I.
Right.
I don't like I statements.
Right.
We got it done.
So how do you feel about the broken window theory?
I mean,
Because that kind of plays. That kind of plays to what you're saying.
It plays into
right?
it, right?
Right.
So if you leave it broken or you just leave graffiti everywhere, it's deemed acceptable.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the same thing with kids, right? If a kid does this and you don't say anything that's wrong, they'll think it's
They
acceptable.
accept it as acceptable.
So I utilize that mentality when
Yeah.
it comes to this. So
Yeah.
we got that done.
Yeah.
There's more coming. There's more cleaning to be done between now and before the winter breaks. We were able to get on the city's website a reporting tool so people could report the graffiti. And now I'm seeing the list come up. And as more people talking about the Flint cleanup actually prompted
Yeah.
a slew of requests of like, hey, public property, private property, whatever it is.
Yeah.
The reality is this. And I know some people were upset with me because, what are we doing cleaning up private property? There's a process. The city got authorization from the individuals to do it, and we could give them an option.
Clean it.
Either
Let's
you clean it,
Yeah.
we clean it,
Yeah.
somebody's
right.
got to clean it.
Yeah. Let's clean it.
Let's get it done.
Let's clean it.
Yeah. So the
Let's
list
clean it.
has been building. So the Flint was the first section. We're looking at the South Main section next. I'm meeting with someone shortly about the waterfront cultural district down that end. There's some there. So I think if we can attack it more,
Yep.
clean it up more, people see it. My biggest thing, like you're driving over 195, you come into the city. You come off on Plymouth Avenue. If the first thing you see is graffiti and trash and long grass, you get right back on 195.
Exactly. Yes.
You got to clean up this
Especially
stuff.
when you're trying to bring that into the city, right?
Correct.
Obviously, we're trying to change our image. We're trying to,
Correct.
we're trying to upscale. Hey, look, we could be just like Providence. We can have
Perception
nightlife.
is reality.
Yeah, 100%. So listen, I just don't want to get too far of it, but just if you are reelected, Andrew,
Yep.
would you commit that there will be some type of oversight on that incinerator?
Oh,
I
absolutely.
just want to
no
for the
doubt.
audience. I think and it's honestly, it's really important to me.
Correct.
Like I care about that, and just to hear you say that would mean the world to me. You know what I mean? I'm not
have
asking
no
anybody
issue.
to do anything. Just to say, hey, listen, let's just go see. Let's stick something in the ground and poke in there and just see, is there something down there, and is there anybody in danger? You know what I mean?
My big question is, what has been done to this point? Are there any records, any data about what has been done? If
Sure.
there is not,
Yeah.
then let's get it done.
Perfect.
And
Perfect.
Chris and I have talked about that,
Yep.
and I think he's probably said it.
Yep.
If he gets elected, he's going down that road,
Yeah.
and I'll support that. I have
Yeah.
no issue. I mean, getting the facts is more important
100%.
than just playing this
yes,
game of
absolutely.
like,
Blame,
is it not?
Is it right?
Bingo.
None of that. And I'm very, very careful with that because I would never want to have that perception out there.
No.
But to hear that, you're going to look into it. Chris said the same thing, and I only say this for those residents over there. A lot of people built property there thinking, these are their life homes. You know what I mean? And to think that there's something like that over there would be terrible. But I don't want to beat that dead horse.
it's all
But
good.
I really appreciate you committing to that. I mean, it really means the world to me. So real quick, I want to talk about a couple of things.
Sure.
So in 2000, Andrew has the opportunity. He goes in a time machine and goes back and tells Andrew in 2000, hey, buddy, this. What is he saying to him?
Wow.
Take your time. I can edit the space.
No. So that's a tough one, actually. So when I was a teenager, my dad suffered a pretty bad injury. He was working at Quaker Fabric at the time. He fell off a ladder, shattered his knee, the bone under the knee, pretty bad.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid basically being told if he had gone a little bit left to the right, he'd be dead. That was a life-changing situation for me as a kid. I think I was in 5th grade.
Okay. Well, he's the strongest man you've ever known, right?
Exactly.
Right.
And I can remember spending that entire summer sitting in the room. We had a hospital bed at the house.
Yeah.
And just sitting by my dad's side, and I was on the computer playing, I don't know, backyard baseball or something on the computer, because hell, I wasn't playing anything at that point. It was a terrible summer.
Sure.
Having to get the little pot to my dad to go pee in, and I'm in 5th grade. Like, what am I doing? That was a big experience for me. So to answer your question, if the Andrew now goes back to then and says like, hey, I learned so much at such a young age. And I think that's where a lot of the strength and desire to be better came from, because I'm like, I saw my dad, my everything, just
there
struggling.
There it is, man.
Yeah, no, it's tough.
That's the mantra of the show is the struggle to success, and it
Yeah.
happens to all of us. It's finding that magical moment in time
Yeah.
that sparked you, right?
Yeah.
That it changes something. It changes the trajectory of where you.
The kids know I'm a big mush, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But that changed. That changed a lot, and I learned then. Like my brother, I have a brother. He's 9.5 years older than me.
Yeah.
So of course he was older than me. I think he was in high school at the point.
Sure.
And we had to learn to adjust. He was working already as a teenager.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
Best thing I could do was just help around the house and do the best I could.
Sure.
But that's where a lot of I got the job at 15. I had to do it myself. If I want a car, Andrew, we know you want a car. If you want it, work for it.
Right.
You want to pay for the insurance? It's expensive. Pay for it.
Right.
You want to go to college? You want to get a degree? You want to get 2 degrees? You got to pay for it.
Yeah.
So all of that came to be. But I wouldn't change it. That's the key. I wouldn't change it because it's grown into my life today. It's made me who I am, and why the value of hard work and getting your hands dirty is so important to me.
Amen, brother.
You know?
Amen.
I'm a bad delegator,
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'm a bad delegator for that reason.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather just get my hands
Yeah,
dirty.
I'm like you. I struggle here because I do everything myself. You know what I mean? It's not even the money. It's just like I'm very particular. I want things done a certain way.
Correct.
And sometimes they say, what is it? The perfection is the enemy of good.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Right, something along those lines. But hey.
But I've learned over
Here
the
we
years,
are.
though. I've learned over the years that, as a kid, I was like, I gotta get the A, gotta get the A, gotta get the A. And as I got older, I'm like, listen, failure teaches us more than the A's.
Yeah.
Like I remember, it's a funny joke aside. Here's the educator admitting this. I got a D in a class in college.
Oh, jeez.
And because I was just lazy.
I know there's somebody out there right now going, I knew he got it.
No, I did. It was so bad. It was an intro to music class. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And I'd just rather take a nap and not go to class, or I just blew off. And I remember meeting with a professor. I'm like, what can I do to get a decent grade? And I remember going to a concert in the Cape for extra credit. It was so funny. But that was a humbling experience because I'm like, you know what? I learned that laziness ain't going to get me nowhere.
Sure.
And you got to work for it.
Yeah.
So, but we always need those reminders.
Yeah.
Like, it's not I can say I have a lot of victories in my life, but I can also say I had a lot of failures.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned more in the failures.
Absolutely.
So
100%. That's what this guy says all the time.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
Amen.
So what are you most proud of?
In what regard?
Well, okay, let's more specifically in your professional career. What are you most proud of?
The impact I've made on kids.
I could see it.
Yeah,
I could see it.
So it's funny now. So 12 years, I've graduated 11 eighth grade classes.
Yeah.
So my first eighth grade class, they're all in their 20s. They're in college, or I just saw a picture the other day of it's our senior year of college.
How crazy is that?
I'm like, okay, I'm old now.
Right.
Like I'm not young anymore.
Right.
But I'm still young in a way.
Yeah.
So like the impact. But the best part is I see these kids who some of them are voting for me now, which is kind of weird, but cool. And they still come back, hey, Mr. Raposo, nice to see you. Like, how you doing? And hey, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to see that. Like, I very rarely have any kids who are like, oh, I hate that guy.
Right.
And then probably some to do it. That's okay, because I think sometimes I'm just a little much for some people.
Yeah, but sometimes a lot of that is people have to come around the corner.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't like you today, but 20 years from now, something happens, you're like, oh, Mr.
Correct.
Raposo was right.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of that. You remember you told us in that civics class that, this, that, you were right. I'm like, hey, Listen,
There it is.
I don't lie.
There it is. Mic drop.
Yeah.
Mic drop, right?
But no, that's probably in my professional life,
Yeah.
the impact, the relationships, and their level of being able to come back and say, hey, like, I'm in college now. What do you think I should do? Like, where should I go? Like, what, so I like that. That's great for me that I have planted those seeds so they can succeed. And I've had some come back and just failed and said, I've messed up everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Be better tomorrow. That's it. Like,
Yeah, right.
Like, brush yourself off. Be better tomorrow. So professionally, that's been the most rewarding thing, the thing that gets me out of bed every morning. I'm making an impact, and I know I am. I see it in the kids' faces. I talk to parents all the time, and even parents who are no longer have kids there, and it's really come full circle for me in many ways. So that's probably
especially when your predecessor is wonderful, right? Like if it was really great, and then you come in, it's like, well, this guy better be as good as the last guy, right? Because if the last one wasn't so good, then it makes it a little easier. But I happen to know that's a pretty tight ship over there. ES is a tight ship, and it's always been run real well. Yeah, real. I mean, just reputation-wise, and you guys always have the best feasts over there too.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I will say that for a fact.
Right, like always the best feast.
Yeah,
over there.
we actually participate in the feast. I'm actually the treasurer of the feast committee, so I'm part of that.
Yeah.
So I know we spent a lot of time doing that, but again, the rewards are great. We help the church, we help the community as a whole, and again, the kids volunteer.
Sure.
Like I have my 8th graders every year. They always want to work a booth.
That's awesome.
And be there.
Yeah.
But not by force. Like I don't have to say no. You have to be.
No, they will participate, right?
They like,
great.
Please, can we be there?
Right.
And they love it.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen overnight.
Andrew, I say it all the time. If you want people to come, build something great.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be a part of something great.
Yes.
If it's not great, people will walk away and be shy of it. But if it's wonderful, people want to participate and be a part of it.
You got it right.
You know what I mean? That's amazing. Like I love to hear these stories. It's so great. And so listen, I don't want to keep us too long.
No.
I know you're a busy guy.
You talk. Listen.
Wonderful. So for the geeks.
Geeks. Okay.
All right. My first computer that I built. Okay. Ready?
Here we go.
Drum roll. 66 megahertz.
Ooh. Okay.
That was my first computer. How about you?
Let's see. Windows 95.
Yeah.
That thing was like $4,000. I remember my parents buying it. Like, yeah, you're mine.
I had version B.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. On floppy.
Yeah. But I still remember being in school and playing Oregon Trail on the old black and
there. I actually have it right over there.
Oh,
I actually have it. Yeah, I got it. It's in a box.
Oh, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, it is. It's totally
Oregon Trail. You don't
Yes.
die of dysentery.
Right.
But I played
over and
that
over again.
Over and over
again.
Played that a lot. But yeah, first computer, Windows 95. I don't know, Pentium processor. Terrible back compared to today. But I remember that. Oh my God, Microsoft Paint all day long, drawing little figures.
Right.
Loved it. I spent more time on that. My parents like dragged me off of it. But yeah, that was good. And I always had a drive for that. I was always interested in computers. So, growing up, like I was the student IT guy at school. If the computer broke, I fix it.
Yeah.
The VCR needs to be fixed.
I got 3 letters for you. IRQ.
AOL Instant Messenger. Right?
Whew.
You got mail.
Crazy.
Dial-up just died. It's so sad.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, they just shut it.
They just shut it down.
AOL is gone
finally,
forever.
after all those
Imagine that.
years. But as a teenager, I remember AOL Instant Messenger for all the wrong reasons. But that's
I
okay.
laugh. My daughter still has an AOL email account. It's hilarious.
It's like people who have Yahoo. I don't get it.
yeah. Like, where's Yahoo?
Why?
Go on.
Come on, Gmail, folks. Let's go.
Go on. So do you still dabble in computers? You still,
yeah. So I'm the IT guy at school, too.
Oh, jeez.
So, we Chromebooks and iPads and all this other stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'm the guy who programs all of it, which, again, is huge because access technology in this generation is huge for kids.
And what you're saving, right? And you're doing it yourself. So you know it's done right.
And I love it.
Yeah.
It's done right.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Every so often, oh, my God, the printer's not working. Oh, yeah, because I messed up the wrong thing. But no, yeah, I do that, too. But it's always been a thing. And, again, I have an IT degree as a bachelor's degree. Yeah. My master's is in education. So I went to get that after at the American International College out of Springfield.
Wow.
They were doing remote classes at Diamond Vogue.
Okay.
I did that for 2 years, and I got my master's degree.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Impressive, sir. Very impressive resume. It's
Yeah.
you know what?
Yeah.
I hope I can call you a friend, brother. It's just such a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thank you.
And I just real quick before we walk us out of here. So come November, right? People are going to be, voting,
Yes.
right? What would you like people to know about you? That you haven't, that we haven't talked about here today. Because there's a lot more than just what we talked about, right? There's the ability to communicate with others, the ability to connect, with your 8 counterparts. There's so much there. And I'm sitting here and I can see you're very easy to talk to. You seem like a reasonable man, someone who's willing to listen and give anything an actual thought, So with that, for me, I'm very impressed by that.
Thank you.
And for the audience.
Thank you. So what you see is what you get, right? Again, going back to what I said before, I think, as a politician, quote unquote, you automatically get this bad rep.
Yeah.
But I am who I am. If it's in council chambers, if it's at my principal's desk, if it's in the classroom, if it's on the basketball court, I'm the same guy. It doesn't change. I believe in morals. I believe in doing the right thing. And again, sometimes we make decisions that aren't always the right decision. But then I think it's bigger on us to say, okay, I screwed up.
Yeah.
How do we fix it? And that's the thing. So I think for the voters, I think people who elected me from the beginning, they gave me a shot. The brand new guy on the ballot, we're going to give this guy a shot. And they did. And the following year, 2 years later, I went up one rank. I went to 6th. So clearly I said, all right, something's working here.
You're right.
People are believing in me.
Right. Because I was going to say the record matters, right? I mean, if people
Yeah.
see progress, then there it is.
Record matters. And I'll say it. I mean, I've talked to the current mayor, Mayor Coogan, and from the beginning I told him, listen, if I think you have a great idea, I'll tell you it's great. If I don't think it's great, I'll tell you it's not great.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of honesty I've had with him and others in elected office.
Yeah.
And even
What's
my
he
colleagues.
Like? He's coming in next week.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's coming in
Awesome.
next week. I'm so glad
Awesome.
that he accepted the invitation to come in.
Awesome.
What's he like?
I mean, I have a good professional relationship with Paul.
Yeah.
Always have.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, he was the vice principal at Durfee.
Yeah.
But I didn't really interact with him when I was at Durfee too much. I just kind of missed him. Because I actually was at Diamond for 2 years.
Okay,
And
all
I
right.
transferred to Durfee.
All right.
And more just because I missed the band. I missed that group.
Yeah.
I did that through middle school and elementary school. So I got back into that, and that's really where I wanted to be. So I never really interacted with Paul as a principal.
Right.
As a politician, obviously I interact with him now on the council. I can call him. He'll listen. Again, we may not always agree.
Yep.
And that's okay.
I've heard that before, too.
That's perfectly
I've
fine.
heard that before.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
We've talked and said, I don't really like that idea. Fine. We agree to disagree and move on.
Yeah.
But, I think with him and others I've worked with, we'll not always agree. But if we can have a conversation and see what can we do, what's a middle ground, and if we don't agree, that's fine.
Sure.
And that's the magic of a legislative branch.
Of course.
There's 9 of us.
Of course.
So
Of course. So is that number always solid? Is it always the 9?
locally, yeah.
Locally,
here.
right? It's always the 9, right?
Some boards and commissions are different
Based on
size-wise.
population, right?
Yeah, it all depends in charters and all that. But it's
well, because you say it's 9, at least it's right an odd number, because then
has to be
right.
Because if it's a tie, it's a
I
fail.
was gonna say, I'm just gonna keep going in circles, right?
Only in politics, a tie is a fail.
Yeah. So do you see that? So you see progress, right? So you actually see change. You see progress.
I do, and again, I think for the average person, for the average voter, it's hard because people want to see it done, and I don't blame them. I listen when I get the messages about the potholes and the graffiti and all that. I hear it, and it frustrates me as much as it frustrates them.
Right.
But the process is painfully slow.
Yeah, man. You know what? It's almost like I hate to say this, but it's almost like an insulting question. Like if I'm asking you, hey, why are there potholes? Like it's almost like the obvious. Like we know the answer, and so it's the obvious question. And so it's like, why are we even in this space? And I think that collectively as a community, I think people are realizing, okay, well, you got to keep the eye on the ball. Like you played baseball for a long time. You can't take your eye off the ball. And you know what? I think we expect way too much from the people that are in politics. I think the responsibility comes to the community. Look, if you walk down the street and there's trash on the street, pick it up and put it in the garbage. Like, don't just walk by it. Like, if you see something, do something, right?
It's funny you say that because I think a lot of people, they'll call me or email me or text me and say, hey, listen, there's a pothole, there's trash, this is that. And they want me to facilitate more than anything else. That's what they want to do. So I facilitate. I'll call who I need to call to see if we can get a solution done. Again, may not be right away, but we try to get it done. And I try to answer every constituent call I get. It's hard. Granted, I'm running a school full time. I'm doing all that. But I always try to make my way to make a connection to see what can we do about it and then eventually get that taken care of.
Would you mind answering a question for one of the fans?
Great.
So Nelson Rigo reached out and said, can you ask him, or any candidate for that matter, he said, if they would consider providing incentives for businesses that want to open in the Flint?
Absolutely. 100%. And I say that and I spend a lot of time. And I appreciate Nelson because I've talked to Nelson.
Okay, great.
I know Nelson.
Great. Shout out Nelson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for reaching out, buddy.
So his business actually just moved to the Flint.
Okay.
Into the mills down at the bottom it's the intersection of Alden and Quikasham.
All right.
So his business just moved in. There's a nice bookstore moving in there in a few weeks that I'm going to the opening. Yeah, that's huge. I think the Flint has a lot of opportunity. And I say that because I spent 12 years, making my living in that neighborhood with the people around. So I agree. I mean, I think the Flint has a lot of opportunity. Incentivizing situations, I think, would be huge, as long as it doesn't come to the detriment of the people.
Right. Agreed.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Like, you can't give away the keys to the kingdom, right?
Sure.
You got to
make sense. It's got to make sense.
Correct.
Right?
You got to give and take.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
I think that's I'm fine with that. As long as we can make that, whatever that looks like, that would make it for businesses to now want to invest in the Flint would be huge.
Yeah.
The Flint's come a long way. I remember when I first started the school, all the mills on Alden Street were like destroyed. They were a mess.
Right.
Now we have everyone but one, the one next door to me. Yeah. But they're starting to clean it up now, and I know it's been sold. It's going to be developed. That's going to be the last one on Alden Street. It's going to be taken care of.
And Carlos has had a lot to do with the community center, right?
I've known Carlos for a long time.
Yeah.
Obviously, as president of Flint Neighborhood Association. So I've worked with him.
He's a great guy. I like Carlos.
Great guy.
What a great guy.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. And he's done some good things. I've worked with him over the years. Yeah. And actually, more recently, when the Duval School was turned over to the city.
Okay.
So we actually, funny story, and again, this is not a me story, it's a we story here. Gates of Hope was in the Duval School, the food pantry locally. Yeah. And the city, for the reasons they took the building back. So Gates of Hope had nowhere to go.
Right.
So actually, and I give all credit to Mo Govin, Pastor Mo Govin at ES, and I sent him the article. Like, they're out. And his response to me is, what can we do to help? And I'm like, yes. So I said, hey, listen, we got the old bandstand, right, in the back. It's a Crown building. Back in the day, used to have concerts out of it. It's not practical anymore. I'm like, well, we have like chairs in it and tables and stuff. What if we've like given that space, like offer it to them and say, hey, I know it's not ideal. It's not as much as you had, but you can still do your ministry. You can still do the work. My biggest thing is that how do you take out the food pantry out of the Flint?
Right.
It's like you can't do it. Like,
it's a staple.
So many people rely on it.
It's a staple.
So long story short, we actually were able to work with the diocese, work with the pastor and myself, and we got Gates of Hope into that building.
Wow.
They've been operating out of there since they left the Duval School. And the cool thing, it goes back to the kids now. They were the ones, my entire middle school, the teachers, myself, cleaned out the building. Got all the chairs out, got the tables out, put them somewhere else. So I remember one of the kids, I'll grab a broom, sweeping the broom, cleaned out.
That's amazing. I love to hear this.
So I remember walking to the kids in the classrooms, and Caitlin remember this. I walked in and said, I want you guys to remember something. You were a part of change. You were a part of something great. And because of what you just did, it's now going to help your brothers and sisters. Because again, we practice what we preach, right?
Of course.
Always helping your brothers
Absolutely.
and sisters, least of us.
Yeah.
And we
Just
did that.
Talk about it. Do
Correct.
it. Show it. Right?
We did it. Ric Flair, right? Walk the walk, gotta talk the talk, right? So like we can talk all we want, but you gotta walk it.
Yep.
So we did it. The kids, collectively, all of us, we did it. Cleaned it out. She moved in, and the next thing we did a food drive. Catholic Schools Week, big thing in Catholic schools, right? We celebrate why we are what we are. And we did a food drive. We collected canned goods and bags and bags and blessed the community that I'm a part of. They just gave and gave and gave donations, gave money, gave gift cards. And then here comes middle school again. All right, guys, we got to sort all these bags, got to put them in, and we're going to walk them across the street, which didn't seem like a big deal until you see 75 middle schoolers with bags and boxes handing it to Gates of Hope saying, hey, now give
That's amazing. That's amazing, man. That's just absolutely amazing.
Okay?
Like just
and again,
that's amazing.
I don't tell that story because it wasn't me. It was us.
Yeah.
And the kids still remember it. So now they've been running out of there for a bit now. It's been great. I always like to go over.
What a cool experience. What a cool experience.
And again, you know what COVID taught us? A lot of the experiences the kids had to go out and do things, they couldn't anymore because of restrictions and rules changed. Rules all changed after COVID, right?
Sure.
So now the kids didn't have an option. We actually had a community service requirement at one point, and I pulled it back, and I said, you know what? I want to bring an opportunity to them. And when this all kind of came to be, it was the opportunity to say, let's bring it to them. And so we've done 2 collections at this point for them. And I go over across the street every so often, literally like 50 feet from the building. Walk over, hey, how's it going? Check in with them. How's things?
That means a lot to them.
It's been a great relationship. And they're, for us, it was good because our mission and their mission is the same. Help people. So it's just
a common goal.
It's a win-win. So I'm, that on a professional level at the school, that was also a great opportunity. And it was weird because, like, I remember the article, the principal / city councilor. And it was a weird world because I very much try to keep those roles separate as much as possible.
Makes sense.
Because,
Makes sense.
My job is the principal. My job is the city councilor. And sometimes those roles can get a little wonky together. I try to keep them separate as much as possible.
Of course.
But this is what
You're still one man sharing two roles, just for the
Amen.
record. Yes.
But here's one thing. And we talk about decorum, talk about how you act. The kids watch these meetings. I remember I was on TikTok last year from a city council meeting. And I'm like, I'm going to go to a meeting on a Tuesday, and I have to see those faces on a Wednesday.
Right.
And if I act like an idiot, they're going to say, that's our principal. So that's why I'm huge about, decorum, about how I handle myself in the chambers, even out of the chambers.
Sure.
Because they see it.
Right.
And if I'm not setting a good example there,
100%.
what am I doing
Right. You're a hypocrite.
at school?
You're a hypocrite.
Exactly.
You're a hypocrite.
So that's why, I know I get the criticism. He doesn't say a lot, but when he does, he talks. And I appreciate the people who have supported me. I hope that I can continue to do that.
Yeah.
The re-election process has been great. Obviously, no preliminary this year again.
Right.
But I put signs out. People have been receptive. People have talked. I've gone to a few events here and there. Very positive energy, which I love. And I hope and pray that people will continue to let me do what I'm doing.
I'm sure they will. But question.
Hope so.
Do you want to continue this role, or do you think maybe there's something more in the political realm for you?
I take it day by day.
Day by day.
Honestly. Because there's a thing for me, it's like you got to learn. And I don't know all the answers yet. So until I feel comfortable in this position and where I'm at, and even in the council, there's room to grow.
Right.
More leadership you can take on. It's learning. And that's what I'm focusing on.
Right.
Because just like I became principal, it didn't happen overnight. And even in the years I've been principal now, 9 years, from day one to today, I even learned something new today. And it's been 9 years.
Right.
So
I'm
going to keep on the course I'm going.
Sure.
If people continue to trust me, I'll continue to do the work. That's what I'm looking for. And I know people say, oh, you're in the community. I support things. We go, and again, this kind of brings her in because we go now, a lot of it together. We're going to city events. We're going to different things, supporting the arts, supporting this event here and there.
Yep.
And I try to spend time and be present and see.
Right.
Just like going to those events and going to the neighborhood meetings. You want to know what's going on in Fall River? Go to things.
Yeah, that's
Talk to people.
That's what
and they'll pull you and say, hey, by the way, counselor.
Yeah.
That's where I want to be.
Yeah.
I learn nothing on Tuesday nights. I'm going to tell you right now. You learn nothing. You learn everything in the community talking to people. And that's where I want to be at.
Yeah.
And that's huge for me. And again, I wish I could be at everything.
So steady the course for you.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Steady the course and keep on going. That's the name of the game right now.
All right, real quick. Parents, where are they from?
So my mom was born here.
Okay.
She's born in Fall River, right off of Beach Street.
All right.
That's where they lived at one time.
Right.
My dad is from Britannia.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Whole family, all from there.
Yeah. Do you speak it? Oh, the swear words.
No.
The swear words.
No, no, not even that. No. So we spoke a lot of English at home.
I'll beep that out.
That's all right. I learned more though actually being at the school.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a lot of Portuguese.
We teach Portuguese from kindergarten to 8th grade.
Yeah.
So I've learned a lot over the years. But Dad was born there. Mom was born here. My mom's parents both born there as well, in the Azores. So I actually went to the Azores for the first time a few years ago.
All right. What'd you think?
Different world.
Right.
Nice world.
Right.
Calm world. And it's just so different, but it was a beautiful experience. Yeah. And I hope to actually get my dad back because he hasn't been since he left as a kid.
My mom, 80th birthday, I took her. She hadn't been there since she was 50.
And a lot of them don't go back because they only remember poverty.
Right.
So so much. I showed him the pictures. He was amazed.
Yeah.
But awesome family. I love them dearly. And
so you got to see where he grew up, right? Right.
Went to the church he was baptized in.
My mom too.
I did
that. It's crazy that's still there. I'm like, wow, this is still here.
The house isn't there. It's a plot now. It's literally
my mom's
land.
too. It's a plot. It's
nothing
bamboo.
impressive.
It's bamboo. It's
correct.
Bamboo. Yeah.
But that's where he apparently lived.
Yeah.
But it was a cool experience.
We might be brothers.
Well, when they say the Portuguese community, like everybody's a cousin of somebody.
You're a cousin of somebody.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So no, wicked blessed, supportive family.
That's awesome.
Supportive wife, of course.
Yeah.
And it all comes full circle for me at the end of the day. So here I am, and again, this is a blessing. This opportunity, I really appreciate you guys reaching out to me. Because and I will say this: I've watched some of your episodes. Appreciate what you do.
Thank you, man. That means a lot to me.
Because again, I think media, no matter if you agree with it or not, it's so important. like we
It's necessary.
as an educator,
Yeah.
we use media to promote.
Mhm.
Catholic schools we're promoting, like come to our school.
Yeah.
But as a person, like this is the way of the world.
Absolutely.
You got to embrace it.
Absolutely.
But I like what you do here, and I appreciate this opportunity to just have a conversation.
That's what this is.
That's huge.
You know, I told David, I said, listen, I want this to be me and you sitting down at dinner. Like if we had a meal in front of us right now, our conversation wouldn't be any different.
Yeah.
We talk a little bit about everything. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing about calling anybody out. It's not about pulling punches. It's not about that.
Yeah.
It's really, who are we? Like we don't know the people that are leading our city. You know what I mean?
And
Like,
honestly, you get nothing done by pulling punches.
exactly. And that's the thing is, that's all people do is talk negative.
I think people
Right?
confuse honest talk versus like gotcha.
100%.
Like listen, we can be critical.
Absolutely.
We can be brutally honest.
Yes.
But if we're just gonna kick each other in the knees,
Yeah.
we're not getting anything done.
Yeah. You know, I get a lot of criticism on the backside from Facebook, but
Yeah.
I don't mind it because, to me, the people that are really listening are like you, like saying, hey, Bobby, you're on the right path. Keep doing what you're doing. Do not deviate and get into this mud. You know what I mean? And I won't. And it's not about that.
No.
Yeah.
And I read some of it too. Like I
Yeah.
read it for myself, and I say, okay,
Yeah.
like criticism's part of life.
Exactly.
Like, you can be better with criticism sometimes, and you take it,
Yes.
and what can you do with it?
Right.
If it's valid, great. If it's not, hey, I can't do
Right.
anything about that.
Right. I would
Life
love for
goes on.
somebody to be like, hey, Bobby, maybe you go with a green color on the wall instead it's this ridiculousness about, you know what I mean? These things that don't even matter. But,
It's all good.
to me, the message is clear and true, brother. And I'm all about the journey. It's about the absolute to the absolute. We find ourselves in that moment in life where something sparks inside of us, and then we're chasing that for the rest of our lives. Because in true fact, we never become the best version of ourselves.
No.
The journey is the pursuit of it.
Correct.
Right? It's the pursuit. Because I used to say it. I went through some hard times in my life, and I was saying, like, I'm the best version of myself. And then, you have the real thought, like when life really happens, and you say to yourself, hold on a second here.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm the best version of myself, then this is it.
If you feel you're perfect, you failed. Because
so now,
there was only one that was perfect.
Yes, I'm better today because of our conversation, brother, and that's
Appreciate
that's what this is all about.
Appreciate that.
Andrew, I appreciate you. Good
Thank you,
luck
sir.
in November,
Appreciate
man.
that.
I'm sure you don't need luck. I mean, obviously, man, you're a man.
No. Don't get too confident.
Yeah.
I am not confident. People
Well-
say to me all the time, "Oh, you got no problem."
Yeah. Well, you're a man of character, and so that's what I'm speaking
what
to.
happens.
I'm speaking to the man of
Appreciate
character,
that.
and I appreciate you got amazing energy, brother. And like
Thank
I said,
you.
I hope I can call you friend.
Yes.
And the show is a friend of yours, brother. Anytime you want to come back, you want to sit down.
Oh, there's
going to
be a part 2 of that. We have to talk
I
more
would
about other
love to.
things.
Absolutely. I
You
would
call
love
me,
to
let's
do
do
that.
it. Let's do it.
100%. I
Absolutely.
just, I know tonight is a big night for us. We have the debates tonight over at the Liberal Club.
Going right there
and
after
that's,
this.
And that's kind of where I'm leading us
all
out of
good.
here to head over there and support the leaders, right? The leaders that are.
And it's critical. It's
Yeah,
important.
absolutely.
Like if people can't make it there, watch it.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, that the mayor's office, like the city council, the school committee,
Yeah.
is huge in what the city does next.
Yep.
And if you can't make it, watch it.
Yep.
Be aware of what's going on.
Right.
And again, vote. Get out there and vote. Do the process, because nothing changes without the political process. That's the
100%.
magic of democracy.
Yes.
Get involved.
Yeah, it's like recycling, right?
Yeah.
If you don't recycle, because people say all the time, am I making a difference? The truth is, you can't think that way.
Correct.
Every vote matters. And my mission in all this, I repeat, this is not a political show, but I talked to David, and we both agree that our mission in all this is going to be communicating to people to register to vote. Like, I think that's a big
Absolutely.
issue in the city, and I think it's a good stance to stand on. Like, I'm not going to, we're not going to promote anyone in
No.
any way, shape, or form, but I think
Vote.
just go and vote or go register to vote. I
Amen.
think 10,000 votes is unacceptable. Like we need to, of a populace of this size, like, let's go. Let's show up. You know what I mean?
Amen.
Show up.
Amen.
Brother, thank you.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you being here today. I know, for the long haul. Like, I've been doing, it's just like a marathon for me, man. I've been nonstop, one after another.
Love it.
I apologize. But remember to like, follow, and subscribe to the show. Always remember that all roads lead here. Thanks.